Now, speaking of a young man who does everything, Michael Ferrara is here. And Michael Ferrara is, have you been on Fox News? Because I read the story on Fox News. And basically, you are running 50 miles to raise money for VetREST, which is an incredible organization founded by this man to your left. To my left, to your right. Tell me, like, how did this come about? What made you do it? And what motivates you?
Yeah, so my freshman year of high school, I emailed my one of the teachers running our Soldier Support Club, Mr. D. Temple, saying that I want to join the club, and the club was shut down, so I rejuvenated this club.
Right.
And that's when I found out the statistic that 22 veterans commit suicide every single day. And once I heard that statistic, I thought it was absolutely unacceptable, and I wanted to do everything in my power to end that.
That is amazing. So you decided to run. Now tell me about the run.
So I'm going to be running the Pistol Creek 50-mile ultra marathon. It's a 50-mile night race, so it'll be starting at 8 p.m. on March 19th, and I'm going to run through the night until I hit 50 miles.
How long do you think it'll take you to do that?
I'd say it'd be probably around 8 to 10 hours.
8 to 10 hours to run 50 miles. You know what? I can't even imagine like a 26-mile marathon. That's almost 2 marathons.
I did that in a year, 50 miles.
Yeah, I mean,
he's doing it in one night. He's absolutely my hero.
You ever think of just getting on a treadmill and waiting until it hits 50 and let the bell ring? No, but I mean, that is amazing. Now, what made you set that sight? What made you set that goal? Get that idea?
Well, I just love pushing myself. I want to see how far I could actually take it. One of my idols, David Goggins, somebody who's inspired me to run these long distances. I really believe that a lot of people can push themselves a lot farther than what they think they can do.
How long have you been running?
Probably since my freshman year of high school is when I started taking the distance seriously.
You run track?
I do not run track.
You do not run? You just run for the sake of running?
Yes, sir.
He does jiu-jitsu.
He does jiu-jitsu.
Training with one of my first sergeants, Chris Yeager.
What are you running for? Let the opponent run. I mean, seriously. So you're going to run. Now, how long have you been training for this? How long have you been training?
Yeah, so I've been following a 20-week program. 2 Saturdays ago, I just did 31 miles fairly easily. I did that in 5.5 hours. So I think I can definitely hit my 8 to 10 hour goal when I do this 50.
You did 31 miles in 5 to 10 hours?
5.5 hours.
And you had no trouble with that? You said this was effortless?
I wouldn't say effortless, but it was I would say fairly easy. Yes, sir.
Fairly easy. That's kind of effortless, right? And you didn't break a sweat?
There was some sweat.
There was some sweat. This is amazing. So, like, how long do you think it'll take you? Now, the run is when? March 19th?
Yes, sir.
And in Tennessee?
Yes, sir.
You going to run from here to Tennessee? Here it is, a picture of you running. How about this? This is so, and you've been doing this for so long. Now, what's the goal? How are we going to monetize this? How are we raising money for the disabled veterans?
Just the idea is just to get the word out. And if you'd like to donate, you can go to VetREST.org, and there's a donation link right there. Right. Yeah, so that's the plan. Just get it out to as many media outlets as possible.
And of course, we're on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere, and we have the flyer posted
soon on the NJ1015.com website.
I love it. And if you take a picture of the scan mark in the bottom right-hand corner, that will take you directly to a donation link. It says ticket, but it actually means donation. We couldn't get Eventbrite to change it. And so far, Mike, we're at about
$12,000-ish is what I've heard. That's
great. That is great. And you know what? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to find out what VetREST does with the money. And also, I want to hear your story. Have you ever given money to a homeless person? Have you ever done something to help a homeless person? Have you ever given money to a homeless vet? It's unfathomable in this country. This great country of ours, that we would have people who serve this country homeless. And I want to talk about that as well. So stick around. 1-800-283-101.5. I'm Steve Trevelise. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Vicci, VetREST.org is here. Michael Ferrara is going to run 50 miles. 1-800-283-101.5. I'm Steve Trevelise. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Vicci, retired from VetREST, in the studio. And Michael Ferrara. How old are you, Michael?
I'm 18.
You're 18.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to run 35 miles.
50.
I'm sorry, you're going to run 50. You've already run 30 miles. And that wasn't a problem. And you're going to do this on March 19th to raise money for disabled vets.
Yes, sir.
This is an amazing story. And you've been on Fox, and it's going to be next week. You getting nervous?
It's starting to set in. A lot of people know about this, and I have to finish. There's absolutely no excuse on why I shouldn't finish, and I'm going to finish this thing if it's the last thing that I have to do.
And nope. And then do you just run straight? Do you take any breaks or anything?
It's a 10-mile loop, so I'll do 10 miles.
Wow. And you're doing this to help the disabled vets. You heard about the 22-a-day suicide statistic. Was there any other reason that made you do it?
Well, the fact that there's people that have served our country that are just living on the streets, I just think it's totally unacceptable. They're the ones who have fought for our freedoms and the ability for me just to be able to run free every single day. So I think that it's my way of giving back.
That's a great way to put it. VetREST is an incredible organization. They're out of North Jersey. Go ahead, tell what you do.
So, Caroline and listeners, because there are so many out there that do ask the question, predominantly we provide peer-to-peer coaching and counseling for veterans and or family members or police EMTs who are struggling with PTSD. And, in so many cases, fortunately or unfortunately, we find that meaningful employment is a big part of the crisis, but we try to drill down to what the veteran's struggling from, what's the backstory, and then we get them to the right professional for help, whether it's a psychologist, whether it's through the VA. We have VSOs. We have coaches who've been mugged, raped, beaten, killed, brought back to life. So there's not a veteran that could tell me a story that says, oh, you can't help me. Oh, we can help you. And the best thing we do is we network with charities across the country, Steve and Caroline, and that's how we solve problems. I've written at least 500 resumes in the past few years, and
you get them back working. You get them back on track.
Yeah, and because if you find out what the root cause is, that's one way to handle the situation. But there are other things that are happening in that person's life that needs fixing, and meaningful employment. Everything revolves around that.
Way.
You can have a great home life, but not a job, and there's going to be problems. You can have a great job. We can help you with the home life if we can. Otherwise, we help with the traumas of the PTSD. We help family members. We help children. We had a soldier that I deployed with. He had a house fire a few months ago, Sergeant Cologne, and we bought some laptops for his kids who were just going back to college. So, the immediate fix was, hey, he's got insurance. It'll take care of it. But boom, we pumped out 2 laptops and a few other things that are needed for school. And that's what we do. For the homeless, crisis situations,
right.
We need to know who to go to in the state to help us. Your Catholic Charities, Home for the Brave, and we have to leverage every organization that we can to make a difference.
In studio with Michael Ferrara, who's going to run 50 miles to raise money for disabled vets, VetREST.org, and that's going to take place on March 19th in Alcoa, Tennessee. He's not going to run from here to Tennessee, though. But I'm figuring with these gas prices, it's better that you should be running than driving to Tennessee. We need the money for the budget. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Vicci, retired from VetREST, is here.
God bless you, Steve.
How did you guys get together? How did you guys meet?
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so I'm applying to the military academy. So I have an application right now to the Air Force Academy and the Coast Guard Academy. And Mr. Vicci over here is a West Point graduate, so he knows the application process for the academies. So then we linked up. And at the time, I just finished running the Marine Corps Marathon and raised $12,000 for homeless veterans for Houses for Warriors, which now has a home that money was used to secure that houses 9 homeless veterans.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
So you go from one to the other.
Yes, sir.
And now you're going to do 50 miles.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you. That's...
And it was funny because when I first met Mike, as you can tell, he's just a wonderful young man. I'm really inspired by him. And he said, I want to do this for VetREST. And I said, well, we started wargaming, what are we going to do? And he goes, well, maybe I'll just run 50 miles. And I'm like, I was really excited and really energized. And when he left, I started crying. I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to pull this off? 50 miles in New Jersey? Where are we going to have Mike run 50 miles safely in New Jersey?
Yeah, really.
And then we started building the advertisements and stuff. And then Mike came up with a race in Alcoa. Well, Alcoa, Tennessee is right at Knoxville, so we can give everybody a kind of a visual on where he's going to be. But Mike trains jiu-jitsu with a first sergeant, a dear friend of mine, said Chris Yeager, and Chris married us up, and it's just been a marriage made in heaven. I mean, just having Mike on our team with the he was on Breitbart, Fox News with Bill Hemmer and Dana Perino, and Martha McCallum talked about him the night before, and it's just we're getting a lot of airtime. And it's couldn't be a better time.
So you got to work your way through the ranks to get to this show. Not an easy thing, right? I mean, at least when you run in Jersey, they run up behind you, yell, "Stop thief." Ever happened to you? You know, when you're running through Jersey, "Hey, stop thief!" You know, that's always what I like to do to people who run. Tennessee, they won't do that to you.
We're working on an initiative in North Jersey now to transition a vacant 20-room hospital into transitional housing for veterans. It hasn't come through yet. Senator Gottheimer's team's working with us. A few other local councils are working with us on it. So we're hoping that we can bring this all together and place Mike's funds there, but that'll be up to Mike when he's mission accomplished here.
You're going to definitely get into this, right? I mean, you are lock, stock, and barrel signed up to go into the military. You don't have to worry about applying anything after this.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So one of my goals is to go to college and to serve the country afterwards.
What do you want to do in college? What do you want to major in?
Mechanical engineering. Okay.
And you know what? It's such a great idea to go into the military because I hope my kids do it because you're set for life.
Jersey Radio.
I'm Steve Trevelise. All right, VetREST.org. You go on, you make a donation. Michael Ferrara is running 50 miles in Tennessee on March 19th. He's, how old are you now, 18?
I'm 18.
18, and you're going to do this for homeless veterans. Veteran suicide rate, 22 a day. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Vicci, VetREST.org. Lucas is in Flemington to talk to Michael. What's up, Lucas?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I had a question for Mike. Mike, I'm curious. What was the training process behind these 50 miles?
Yeah, so thank you for calling in, Lucas Christo. So the training process, it's a 20-week-long program. Starts you off the first week running 24 miles, and it builds you up to running 60 miles a week.
The first week you run 24 miles?
Yes, sir.
Get out.
Yeah, so it gradually builds you up throughout the 20 weeks. Right now, 2 weeks ago, I just finished my peak weeks, so I did a 31-mile run, and now I'm on the tapering part of the program where the mileage drops significantly.
So it's kind of like you're winding down as you hit the 40 miles and the 45 miles. I don't believe it. What are you eating? Like, can you pig out and go crazy when you're not running because you know you're going to run? It's like license to eat.
I can eat as much pasta as I want.
Well, so you're talking our language now.
Yeah, really. You load up on the carbs in order to run them off?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I eat a lot of pasta. A lot of pasta before I run. I usually have
not when
pasta.
You get to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Grits.
We'll have to bring some down.
Bring some manzoni. How about that? All right, now this is going to be, again, March 19th. You go to VetREST.org and you can make a donation and sponsor Michael, who's running for the vets. And the money goes to VetREST.org, basically helping vets. Can you get PTSD just living in New Jersey? Do you counsel people that I grew up in Jersey, I got this governor, he's got me. Handling the television, a man who's going to run 50 miles for the homeless vets, and that is Michael Ferrara. God bless you, son.
Thank you.
You think running 30 miles in a day was one thing? Wait till you try this. Wait till you deal with what we're going to talk to now. On the other side, with movies and music, it's the one, the only Gemini himself, Johnny Lombardo is here.
Thank you, Steve. I'm all ready for this intense game. But I do want to say one thing, Steve. Tonight's show was awesome. These guys you got in the room over here right now for the vets and all the jobs that you do, really hands to you. Usually Steve doesn't have really good guests.
Last week they called us that Johnny put them to sleep.
They called up and said that. Some girl said, look, what a good voice, because I'm going to sleep. Meanwhile, she's driving. I hope she hits something.
Look at this. Winners to the left of me. Winners to the right of me. All right, we got one of Mike's friends here. We got Luke in Flemington. What's up, Luke?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing good, Luke. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, Luke, you ready to play? You've been studying all hard for this?
Oh, yeah.
You want Mike's category?
Sure.
All right, he's doing running. He's got television.
Luke's a pure genius, so I'm pretty sure he's going to get this.
Oh, okay.
So what town is the show Cake Boss located in? A, Princeton, B, Morristown, C, Hoboken, or D, Jersey City?
I'm gonna have to go first one, Princeton.
It's not. No.
He's the genius?
That was a little sarcastic.
I got it now.
Oh my God!
A little high school humor there.
1-800-283-101.5. It is trivia, music, movies, television, New Jersey 101.5. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Vicci from VetREST is here. Robert Vicci. We've got Michael Ferrara. He's going to run 50 miles to help homeless vets in Tennessee on March 19th. Johnny Gemini doesn't get up off his ass to do anything, but he's going to be here right now. Music, movies, television, New Jersey.
That wasn't the question.
Movies, oh God, movies, Gemini.
There's another 5 minutes here.
There's a kid here who runs around for vets. Why don't you pick him? Unbelievable. I can't believe you. All right, you ready? Here we go.
And then a young patriot who was going to run 50,000 miles for
50 miles, not 50,000 miles.
Eventually.
That's next year.
Next year. That's next.
But anyway, I love Michael. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
No, you're doing God's work, and you know what? We need more young people like you, my man, because this country is the best country ever on the face of this earth. And we need people like you who are willing to go out there and speak up about what's going on.
Absolutely.
Truly amazing.